What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So as I'm sure you're all aware, there are a ton of different Pokemon throughout the soon-to-be 7 generations of the franchise. Once Sun and Moon are released, we will likely have over 800 different monsters that we'll have to track down if we want to catch them all. With so many different Pokemon out there, Game Freak has to put in a lot of work to make sure that each one is unique and that no two Pokemon look too much alike. However, there are some Pokemon that take this to the extreme and are exceptionally unique even by Pokemon standards. That's why in this video we are going to be counting down the top 5 most unique Pokemon, and when I say we, I mean me and my special guest for this video, the TheAuraGuardian.
Hey guys, I'm Aura, and like Hoop said, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most interesting Pokemon the franchise has to offer. However, despite Pokemon come out with some extremely imaginative creatures, they've also come out with some pretty boring ones, which is why Hoops and I have decided to cover that over on my channel. Now with all that out of the way, let's get started.
Starting at the number 5 spot on the list is Rotom. Now with Rotom, much like every other Pokemon on this list, it's pretty obvious as to why it's so unique. Rotom has the ability to possess various electrical appliances and gain new forms as well as new typings. It currently has 6 forms, 7 if you count its new Pokédex form, although it is not yet known if it will be usable in battle. These factors in and of themselves make Rotom pretty unique already, but on top of this, 4 of Rotom's currently available 6 forms have typings that no other Pokemon have, that being Normal Rotom with Electric Ghost, Heat Rotom with Electric Fire, Frost Rotom with Electric Ice, and Mow Rotom with Electric Grass. Rotom is also possibly based on Pulseman, who is another character that Game Freak created before the release of the first Pokemon games. Looking into the future, it's possible that Rotom could gain any number of forms, and that possibility would only add to Rotom's uniqueness in the future.
Next on the list at number 4, we have Ditto. Now Ditto might not seem like the most unique Pokemon out there, because it's been around since Generation 1, but honestly, it's pretty unique. Ditto has the ability to transform into any other Pokemon, which is something that pretty much no other Pokemon can do, except for one case, being Mew. Speaking of Mew, it's also been theorized and is fairly likely that Ditto is a failed clone of Mew, given that they both know transform, have the same weight, same coloration, and even the same shiny coloration. Ditto is also found inside the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island, where Mewtwo was supposedly created. If this theory happened to be true, then Ditto would have a very unique backstory. Finally, Ditto is the only Pokemon that can breed with every other Pokemon that is able to breed, apart from itself. And Ditto is also the only Pokemon that can only learn one move. Ditto might be an old Pokemon, but it's definitely one of the most unique, which makes it in our opinion one of the most deserving to be on the list.
Now at number 3 we actually have 2 Pokemon, Manaphy and Phione. With these Pokemon you honestly can't talk about one without talking about the other, and as a pair what they do is extremely unique. Manaphy is the only legendary / mythical Pokemon that is able to breed, which is already really unique on its own, but what makes it even more unique is that once it does breed, the Pokemon that pops out is Phione. I mean Phione. Sorry, I put that I in the wrong place. Anyway, Manaphy is able to produce Phione when it breeds with a Ditto. However, Phione is not a pre-evolution of Manaphy and is certainly not related to Ditto. However, judging by its appearance, it is definitely still related to Manaphy in some way, which only adds to the mystery of the relationship between these 2 Pokemon. We've still got a couple more Pokemon to cover, however, so let's continue with the countdown.
The runner-up spot, we have Smeargle, and while it might not look like it, it's got a lot of things going for it to make it one of the most unique Pokemon of all time. Smeargle's uniqueness centers around its signature move, Sketch, which gives it a number of interesting distinctions. Firstly, Sketch is the only move that Smeargle can learn. It can't learn any other moves leveling up, receiving TMs, move tutoring, or breeding. However, even though this is technically the only move that Smeargle can learn, at the same time, Smeargle can learn any move, with the exceptions of Chatter and Struggle. This is because its signature move Sketch allows Smeargle to permanently learn any move that was used before it. Smeargle is also the only Pokemon that can learn the same move more than just a couple of times. According to Bulbapedia, there are some Pokemon that will receive an egg move at level 1, and then are able to learn that same move by leveling up. However, Smeargle blows these Pokemon out of the water, because it can learn Sketch a total of 10 times by leveling up. And just to top things off, its design is fairly unique as well, since it is based on the interesting combination of a Beagle and a Painter. However, all of that wasn't quite enough to give Smeargle the top spot on the list, because there is one more Pokemon that is, believe it or not, even more unique.
Before we get to number 1, I'd like to give an honorable mention to Type Null, who was just revealed for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Simply put, this thing is weird, especially its name, and because of that, I thought that it deserved to be mentioned. However, we don't know that much about it at this point, so I didn't want to give it an official spot on the list. With that said though, let's check out our number 1 pick. And finally, the Pokemon that sits atop this list is none other than Shedinja. Honestly, there really isn't anything about this Pokemon that's not unique. Starting with the basics, Shedinja is the only Pokemon with the Bug Ghost typing, and is also the only Pokemon that has the Wonder Guard ability. Wonder Guard is also a unique ability in and of itself because with it, Shedinja is unaffected by any move that is not super effective to it. Additionally, Shedinja also has a unique method of evolution from Nincada, and I use the term evolution loosely because it's not necessarily an evolution at all. The way you obtain Shedinja is by evolving Nincada into Ninjask, and once that happens, if you have an empty slot on your team and also a regular Pokeball in your bag, you will receive Shedinja as well. I don't think I need to explain how unique of a concept that is, but it doesn't stop there. Shedinja only has 1 HP no matter how strong it is, making it the only Pokemon that has a stat which is not affected by the standard level up formula. And just to top things off, Shedinja is one of, if not the only Pokemon that doesn't give you an opportunity to nickname it upon receiving it. Since it automatically appears in your party after evolving Nincada, the games won't let you nickname Shedinja right off the bat, and the only way to nickname a Shedinja is for the original trainer to take it to the Name Raider. And those were our picks for the top 5 most unique Pokemon. If there's a Pokemon you think is unique that wasn't on the list, let us know in the comments below. I'd like to thank TheAuraGuardian for joining me today, and if you'd like to see more Pokemon content, be sure to head over to his channel where he and I did a video on the top 10 most boring Pokemon. If you're here from Aura's channel, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. I make all kinds of Pokemon videos from top 5s to fact and trivia videos to theories, and I even do remixes. So if any of that interests you, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. And as always, until then, I'll smell you guys later.